As you saw earlier in the vlog, I recently pulled out my spinning wheel and gave it a good shine so that I can start spinning again. It's been a while, so I've been using Craftsy, who is the sponsor of today's video, to help me brush up on my spinning techniques. Craftsy is an online resource for all things creative, and when I say all things, I mean all things. They have classes in sewing, weaving, gardening, cooking, baking, woodworking, painting. There are so many ways to learn something new, and they're always adding fresh classes too, which I love. Right now, I'm taking a spinning class by J.C. Boggs Faulkner. It's called Drafting from Worsted to Woolen. I learned how to spin about 8 years ago, but I only ever used one drafting method. This class has been such a great refresher. I'm learning about different fiber preps, multiple drafting techniques, how to choose the right method for the yarn I want to achieve, and some really helpful troubleshooting tips as well. If you're looking to expand your creative skills, whether in knitting or anything else, Craftsy is a fantastic place to start. Use the link in my video description or the QR code on the screen to get your first year of Craftsy Premium for only $1.49. This offer is valid for new members only. So thanks again, Craftsy, for sponsoring today's video. Hi everyone, it is Amber from A Lovely Yarn Podcast. And I thought I would hop on here and spend a little time talking about my knitting with you all. It is the week of Thanksgiving here in the United States, so it's kind of a kickoff for all of the holiday festivities of the rest of the year. At least that's how I personally look at it. And my husband is off on vacation this week. He took the week off, so that makes it even more festive because he's going to be off. So we are going to be doing some things, just like some fun things. And then I unfortunately have a couple of like medical appointments that I have to take care of. But other than that, it's going to be, I think, a nice week. So I'm sitting on my bed and I have some knitting here that I want to talk to you about. As you would have seen earlier, so I recently painted this accent wall in our bedroom and did stenciling up both sides. Maybe a couple of people, I know one person for sure had commented about stenciling the top, and I almost did that, but then I was like, no, I got to keep my final end product. I need to keep the end, like, vision, I guess, in mind, which is to have 2 long shelves above our bed. This is a king size bed. We upgraded from a queen. We've always slept in a queen, but when we got Tilly and then I'm gonna say it, foolishly let her sleep with us because, yeah, anyway, we bought the king size bed just recently, and we had the old mantelpiece from in my parents' house that we had refinished, and we had used that for our headboard for like a long time, maybe as long as we had that bed, which is 25 years. Anyway, so I lost my mantelpiece, which was what was up here before, and I put a lot of my plants and stuff on it. And then I also lost a cedar chest that was kind of also like a dresser that I had my plants on in front of my window. So what we're going to do, what Brad is going to do is he is building me shelves up here, just 2 of them. They're going to be slightly shorter than the width of the king size headboard, and I will be able to put some like decor up there and some of the plants. I get a little bit funny about putting stuff above my head, so I'll probably put like some of the lighter plants, not the heavy ones. I'm sure they'll be perfectly fine, but I don't know. Like, I fully trust Brad's ability to anchor everything well, and there's no reason that I should be worried about it, but it's just one of those weird things. But another thing Brad's going to eventually do is actually build a shelf underneath my window, underneath the window here in our bedroom. This is the only window in our house that gets really good sunlight. Most of the windows in our house are covered they're not covered. They're like underneath covered porches. So our house doesn't get a ton of sunlight in, but our bedroom does. And so my plants tend to do really, really great in here. So he's going to put a shelf. We had to move the dresser out because with the king size bed, there was no room to walk. Well, there was a little bit of room. But anyway, he's going to do that eventually. We have wood. All this wood that we're using is from our old goat shanty that we no longer have goats. Brad tore down he started tearing down their old like building, and he's repurposing that wood. He's planing it down and he's sanding it, and then he's finishing it with tung oil. So anyway, I don't know why I told you all that, but that was, because you would have seen him working on the boards earlier in the video. Okay, so let's talk a little bit of knitting. Now I want to talk about my cast-on that I'm going to be starting. This is the Smoke Show by Thea Coleman. I talked about this one. I featured this vest in the vest episode a while back. I said how much I loved it. And then I bought the yarn and now I'm casting on. But I did a gauge swatch last night. I am using Purl Soho Hedgerow. This is my first time ever using this yarn. It's really very lovely. And let me see, it's tweedy. It does have like little tweedy bits, but it's not overly tweedy, at least not this color that I'm using. It is 93% merino, 3.5% cashmere, and 3.5% mulberry silk. And so you can see it here. And then this is my gauge swatch. So you're supposed to swatch, like make a cable swatch. So I did. And I was off by, well, kind of like in one part I was off. So down in here, I was off gauge by half an inch or half a stitch. But then up here, I had one too many. I will say, I'm not crazy about the fabric I got with the size 7 needle, which is the pattern's recommended needle size. I feel like my gauge is too big and open, and you can't really see here, but it's just really, can you see how open that is? And it's a little bit sloppy too, if I'm going to be honest. So I'm going to try the size 6 needle. It's a 4mm. I can never remember the metric sizes of the needles, so I apologize for that. But I actually was a very good girl, mostly because I've never worked with this yarn before. I always say you should do a gauge swatch when you're knitting a garment. However, if I have knit with a certain type of yarn over and over again, I'm pretty good at knowing if I'm going to get gauge or what my gauge is. But I've never used this before, so I had no idea. And I'm really glad I did do a gauge swatch because I feel that I need to go down. I even blocked it and everything. I did a proper gauge swatch. I mean, it could have been a little bit bigger, let's face it, but anyway, so I actually was going to cast this on this morning, and because it's worked from the bottom, like the hem up, but you immediately start it said that now I'm looking at the picture and there's definitely not a button that low, but it said that you will almost immediately start your buttonholes. And I was like, what? I am not in the right frame of mind right at this present moment this morning to be worrying about buttonholes. And she doesn't tell you really, I don't think she really tells you how to make your buttonholes. She gives a link to Isolda's method, but she kind of gives it. So I don't know. I wasn't in the mood to really concentrate on starting buttonholes right off. So I didn't cast it on yet, but I'm going to sometime this week and get this started because I'm really excited about this. And I'm going to knit the smallest size, which this is meant to be knit with or worn with 4 to 6 inches of positive ease. I'm sorry, not the smallest size, the second size. So the first size is for a 37¼ inch bust. And then the second size is for a 40½ inch bust. I have a 37 inch full bust, but my measurements up here, like my upper bust, this is 35. And so when I base my measurements for garments on my full bust, a lot of times, not always, but more times than not, the garments turn out bigger than what I would have wanted them to. When I base it upon my upper bust measurement, I'm usually happier with the fit. So if my upper is 35 and then the second size, the finished circumference is for 40.5, and that's the circumference when the vest is buttoned, then that's going to give me like 5½ inches of positive ease. So I think that'll be good because I want to be able to wear for me, I want to wear button-down shirts underneath it. I want to be able to wear long sleeve, just tight t-shirts, which that wouldn't be as big of a deal. But like a button-down, you've got a lot of extra fabric. So I don't want this thing to be so incredibly tight that I don't feel comfortable wearing a shirt that has more fabric, you know? Anyway, that's what's going on with this pattern. So not cast on yet, but it will be soon. And then I got the yarn to do Ian's. So I had ordered yarn to make Ian's sweater. So I have 3 sweaters I'm going to be casting on, which is very unlike me to be knitting that many garments at one time. I'm feeling a little bit intimidated about it, I must say. Let's talk about Lily's first. Okay, so for Lily's Euros sweater, I forget the designer's name, but it will be linked down below. I am using the Queensland collection Kathmandu Aran 100, which is a merino silk and cashmere tweed blend. And I'm using the Creme color, not color 31. It's really beautiful and very clean and creamy. Anyway, I downloaded the pattern, took it to my last knit night, which was a couple weeks ago. I had this all balled up, ready to go. Looked at the pattern, looked at the charts, and felt immediately overwhelmed. And I showed it to Jody. Jody's my friend, Flower Hill Fleeces. She owns that. It's a yarn company. It's a farm. She has a mill that she now has open. And she also teaches knitting classes at one of our local 45-minute away local yarn shops. So she is currently working on the book. Is it the Book Club cardigan by Sari Nordlund? And I don't know. I have not knit a lot of cables. I've knit cables and accessories, and I knit one cable sweater, which had 3 cables running across the front of it, but the rest of the sweater was knit in garter stitch. So I don't have a lot of experience with cables. Cabling is one of those things that, although the cable portion is not hard, I just don't feel like cabling is not hard. You're just putting stitches on hold while you knit other stitches, and then you're knitting those stitches you had on hold. It's not hard. It's not a hard thing. I realize that, but I'm not overly familiar because I haven't done a lot of cables, especially in a garment. And so I was looking at all these charts and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm feeling so overwhelmed. All these charts. This sweater is knit from side to side. So I think if I remember correctly, you knit the sleeve in the round and then you knit this part. It's like you knit the front and then part of the back, and then you knit this sleeve in the round, and then you go back at some point and you knit the back portion and you seam up the sides or something like that. It's a very different construction than I've actually never knit a sweater side to side before. It was also the evening. I was like done with heavy thinking for the day. So I sat there and I looked at it with Jody, and I was kind of like getting her input and stuff on some things. And, you know, I was like trying to figure out, because the pattern says to do a stockinette gauge swatch and then also a cable. And I was like, do I have to do a cable? Because this sweater only comes in 3 sizes because it's meant to be so oversized that the smallest size bust is like 50 inches or 40 some inches. It's like a very oversized. I don't have the pattern right here with me. It's very oversized. So we decided I would probably be perfectly fine with just knitting the smallest size because it is for Lily, who is very petite and tiny. But I have not started that yet because I have felt overwhelmed with the thought of all those cable charts. I need to start because I know this has happened with other patterns before that look more intimidating and more challenging than they actually are. And you just have to start, and you just have to do it in bite-sized pieces and take your time and don't think too far ahead. Because what I was doing was I was looking at all the charts at one time and I was feeling very overwhelmed with it because I was thinking, oh my gosh, look at all this hard stuff I have to do, instead of just reading it. Let's do this first section. Let's get this first section done, you know, and then I feel like I know I'll be fine. I know I'll be able to do it. So I just haven't started yet because I honestly haven't felt the, like up here, no, it's not that I haven't felt good up here. It's like I haven't felt like I've been in the right kind of space to take on a challenging project right now, but I'm going to. I have the yarn all skeined up. You can see it back here. So I'm going to be starting this, but I wanted to give a little update about that. If any of you have ever knit that pattern before, please let me know down in the comments. Is it as hard as it looks? I know there's multiple projects. I think like several hundred. I could be wrong, but there's multiple people who have knit it. So I know I can do it. I just need to start and take my time and not freak myself out. Okay, then let's talk about Ian's sweater because I'm going to be knitting the single malt sweater by Max. I always forget his name. You guys are probably yelling at me. It's this. I can't remember, but again, I'll have that down below as well. So last time I spoke, I told you I was ordering yarn from Purl Soho because they had a sale, which they have a sale going on right now. It's 25% off all their yarn and their knitting tools, which normally their sales are just for their yarn. So I am an affiliate for Purl Soho. So I will put a link down below if you want to try out any of their yarn. This is a good time to do it. As of the time of filming this, which is the week of Thanksgiving, it is 25% off all their yarn and knitting tools. But I wanted to show you the yarn because it arrived. It's beautiful. This is the Daily Wool Worsted. It is 100% superwash. I've never used this base before, but I'm using it because I don't want my son and daughter-in-law to have to worry about hand washing this sweater that I'm making him. So we're going to give it a shot and see how it goes. It is Olive Tree is the name of this color. But it's very beautiful. I think this is going to be a really nice yarn and color for that particular sweater. And after I talked about this sweater in the last episode, multiple people said, oh yes, I knit that. That's a great pattern. So I'm really excited to get this one started. I feel like it's going to be a little bit less overwhelming than the Eurus sweater. I think this one's just like a top-down raglan, if I remember correctly. It's textured. And so it'll be nice and squishy, but yeah, I'm ready to start on this. Well, actually, I'm not ready because I gotta put this in the yarn cakes, which that's half the battle of getting started. Let's talk about something I finished because I finished, except I didn't block it and I haven't woven in the ends yet, but this is my Murmured in Dreams shawl. And this is a pattern by Rachel Shepler, who owns Dusty Tree Dye Works. And I actually purchased this yarn from her at PA Sheep and Wool Festival. And this is, so this is a mosaic colorwork shawl, as you can see right there. And then it has this border. It's like garter, little garter panels with some eyelets and then garter again. And I was so pleased with how I ended this project because I hardly have any of this yarn left, which is what I absolutely love. I love when I can finish up a project and have used almost all of the yarn. So let me show you first of all the yarn. This one is called November Walk. This one is called Tree Canopy. And here's her little logo. And this is 100% extra fine, non-superwash Australian merino. I actually prefer to knit with non-superwash. It honestly does not feel like non-superwash. It's nice. It's very nice. So I'm going to be honest, I would not pick these colors again if I would do this. I wish that I would. So I went to her booth. I went back to her booth at the end of the day, of the first day. And I probably would have picked maybe like a blue and a purple, but I wanted to use the superwash base. And so I don't think that she had a blue and a purple at the end of the day. I think that's what happened. So I ended up going with these colors, and I thought they were very fallish, but they're just, the orange is definitely more dominant than I thought it would be. And so, I don't know. I mean, the shawl pattern is absolutely lovely. I actually really enjoyed knitting it. The mosaic knitting was really nice. I liked the border on the end. Let me put this on. Okay. This is typically how I wear my shawls, around my neck like this. So this is a triangular shaped shawl. So you're definitely going to have a lot more of material here in the front. I don't wear my shawls in the traditional sense where I put them over my shoulders. I mean, the only time I do that is if I'm cold and I may be sitting in the chair reading or something, but typically I wear them like this, and I wear them mostly when I'm going out places and I wear them as a scarf. So as I said, I don't really wear a lot of shawls, but I really enjoy knitting shawls. So I have a lot of shawls that I don't wear, is what that means. Because how many shawls do you really need, you know? Anyway, this was really fun to knit. I would definitely recommend this pattern. Definitely. So go check that out. But like I said, I would knit this in different colors next time. Just because orange, and I knew this, oranges don't really suit me unless they're a very specific shade of orange. And, but I was just like, look how pretty it is. Look how pretty this is. And it was back in October, or was it the end of September? I can't remember. It was like the start of fall. And so I was like really in the fall mood, and I was like, oh, these are so fallish, which they are. And it's beautiful. The shawl is beautiful, and I need to block it, as I said, but look how big it is. It's a big one. Nice and cozy, and the mosaic knitting is nice and squishy. Okay, real quick, I have a couple of, oh, I forgot about those. Okay, real quick, I'm gonna show you my niece's socks. First one is done. Did I have it done last time? I can't remember what I talk about from episode to episode. Here's the second one. It's almost done. These will be finished this week. And then I can finally give them to her because she turned 16 in September. And so, yeah, a little bit delayed on this gift, but she knows they're coming. I'll link the color down below because I told you guys last time I threw away the ball band. I don't know what the color is. I have to like look it up every time. And then I just picked my Heel Toe Do-Si-Do socks back up. This is a pattern by K. Litton, Crazy Sock Lady. And I had started these in the summer, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was in the summer. I feel like this was a camping trip knit. Has this fun chevron detail down the front of the sock, which is really cool. And I am using this yarn, which is, oh, you've got to be kidding me. I don't have the tag for this one either. I will try to find the color name for this. But this is fun. This is a fun pattern for self-striping yarn. And so I just recently picked this back up. I'm actually going to be starting the toe decreases now. I have the foot to the length that I want it. And I'm just knitting these, maybe I'll put these back as a gift, but maybe I'll just end up wearing them myself as well. Okay, and then I've got this pair of socks that I also started this summer during a camping trip with some yarn that I thrifted at a thrift store in the little town near the campground we were staying at. This was marked as a cotton yarn by whoever priced it at the thrift store. It's definitely not. It's definitely a sock yarn, and it feels very much like merino, and I'm assuming nylon as well. But if you were watching me back then and you watched those particular episodes, you would have known that this yarn it was wound up like this already when I bought it. And it was as if someone took a pair of scissors and just randomly cut down in. So I had so many ends. Well, you can see here. Let me turn this inside out so you can see what I'm talking about. I have so many ends on the inside of this sock because I had to keep rejoining the yarn. And many of you had said, oh my gosh, it might be moths. And I was like, oh no. So I put everything into a plastic bag and stuck it in my freezer for a really long time, pulled it out and then put it back in again for a while. And so now I'm going to work on these again. And this pattern, what is this pattern? Oh my gosh. Hermione's? I think this is the Hermione's Everyday Socks. Yeah. I really need to get better at keeping track of my knitting stuff. But it's got the really squishiness. And I'm to the point now in this skein where I'm not getting breaks in the yarn anymore. So I don't know what that was all about. A lot of theories around this. You guys had some good ones. There were lots of theories. I have no idea what happened. I would love to know what happened to you in your former life at your other home. What happened to you, poor little skein of yarn? I'll be working on those again. I haven't felt like working on socks for a very long time, but I have to say, I am actually getting into the mood to work on socks again, which is nice. I went through this phase where all I wanted to do was knit garments. And now I'm getting back to, I want to knit garments, and you know I'm going to be knitting 3 sweaters with so many more in my queue because I do really enjoy knitting sweaters. But I am also in the mood to get back to socks and mitts and shawls and everything. You know, I want to knit everything now. Speaking of socks, I showed this earlier. This is yarn Lily bought for me. So my birthday was last week and she had purchased this and given it to me, but she purchased it when she was in Wyoming. She spent a couple of weeks out west on a trip and she had picked this up. This is Polka Dot Sheep Fine Yarns, which is based, Tilly just jumped up on the bed, which is based out of Whitefish, Montana, but she picked it up at a yarn shop in Wyoming. She did give me the tag, but I have it. It's not with me here. And did I throw it away? I may have thrown it away. She went to a yarn shop in Wyoming, and Old Pass Road is a road in Wyoming, apparently, that my daughter was on while she was there. But aren't these beautiful colors? These are going to be socks for sure. For me, these are for me. This is 80 merino, 20 nylon. It's plump. I like a plum sock yarn. I've had so many of you asking, hey, Amber, what's up with your Songbird mitts? Why haven't you shown them for a while? Because I stopped working on them. I started these last late spring, I think. Over the winter, I'm not even sure. But when it turned spring, I was like when it got into the warmer part of spring, I was like, I'm not working on woolly mittens anymore. I am going to do other things. So I want to show them to you more as an accountability because I haven't put a single stitch on these since then, but I want to get started on these because we are in mitten season now. It's been cold here and it's been so great. Today is our first day of sun in weeks. I am so thankful. You don't even know. I know some of you know because you commiserate with me in the comments. Some of us are more prone to the blues when it is not sunny. And I live in Western Pennsylvania and it's often not sunny during the fall, winter, and early spring. And we have hardly had any sun the last 2 weeks. And today we have had almost an entire day of sun, except for a little bit this morning. And it has been absolutely magnificent. And it's amazing how good I feel. But these mittens. Okay, so here you can see the branch, the leaves, and this is the little tail feather of the bird. And here is the bird's body. And then on the other side, you've got this really pretty easy, because it's rhythmic and repetitive and symmetrical, where this is not. This color work, you got to really pay attention to what you're doing with these gloves because like when you're knitting this part, everything's different. Every line is different. It's not like a lot of color work where it's symmetrical and you get into a rhythm and there's a pattern to the stitches. No, not with this. So I am picking these back up because I want to get to work on these and I'm going to have these to wear this winter. I forgot to mention the yarn. So this yarn is from the Woolly Thistle and this is actually their Rambler base. Isn't that a pretty label? This yarn is, where's it at? There it is, 80-10-10 Dorset, Corriedale, and Gray Romney. And there's 420 yards per 100 grams. This is a sock weight. It does not have any nylon in it, but it has those 3 different sheep breeds in it. This is the Lupin colorway, this beautiful purple. And this is the natural colorway. And the Woolly Thistle did send this to me as a like gift when I became part of their affiliate program. So yes, that's what I decided to make with this yarn, the Songbird Mitts. Okay, let's talk about Vlogmas because oh my gosh, it's starting. Can you believe it's been a year already? I have had this conversation with multiple people. I cannot believe a year has already passed. My gosh. Okay. This is life though, right? Life. And I feel like as I've gotten older, it's gone even faster, which I've heard that from many, many people. It's probably just our perception of time, right? That changes because life doesn't actually speed up. It's just our perception of it. Okay. So for Vlogmas, I still have not decided. I don't know why I'm being so trepid about committing to daily vlogs. I think it's because I'm using new editing software, which takes me a long time, although I am getting quicker with every episode or vlog I do get quicker. I'm learning more, things are sticking, so I'm not having to stop and Google things as much. But also, I don't know. I still don't know what I'm going to do. Like I said, I'm going to shoot for daily vlogs, but we'll see. We're going to see. I'm excited about it. I don't want you guys to think I'm not excited about Vlogmas. I am excited about it. I'm just like, oh, I don't want to stress myself out, you know? So I did an Advent calendar exchange with Robin of Flax and Flannel on Instagram. And I will link her Instagram account down below. She also makes project bags, which does she have a shop? Yeah, I think she does on Etsy. Pretty sure. Anyway, she and I exchanged, and we had this planned. She contacted me like, and I don't know, a long time ago. It feels like a long time ago. But she sent me my stuff, and she already received the stuff I sent her, but I put it in this basket. So there are my 24 days of minis. And then underneath, and I can already see she has it in this really cute little sewn bag or basket. And then I haven't opened it yet because she said to open first, but I'm literally waiting. I don't like to ruin surprises at all. Like, I love good surprises, and I don't like to find out about them before I'm supposed to. So I'm waiting. I'll probably open this the night before. And then there's also some extra things in here for certain days that I'm supposed to open them. So I'm going to be enjoying this, which is so fun. I had such a fun time putting together her little thing as well. And then this year, Molly of A Homespun House reached out to me and said she wanted to gift me one of her advent calendars, which I was so super excited about. I've used Molly's yarn because I was a patron for a while, and I was in the tier where you would get 3 minis a month. So I love her yarn. She makes beautiful colors. I'm really excited about that advent calendar as well. And then my friend Jody stopped by, Jody of Flower Hill Fleeces. She stopped by the other day, and hold on, I forgot to grab it. I gotta grab it. She brought me this. This is Woolens and Nosh Advent, their little sock advent thing that they do every year, 2025. Look at how cute this bag is. That is so much fun. And this is part, I guess she does a seconds for the advents. So she has these advent socks, and basically you knit, they're self-striping, okay? I don't want to show you. I'm not going to show you because it's a surprise. Okay, I've already looked. I looked when Jody brought them. I was like, have you looked at this yet? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, good, because I want to look. So I looked. I'm looking right now. I'm really excited about these socks. So last year, Jody had also purchased this for me. And those socks were super fun. I unfortunately knit them too big for me. So fortunately for my husband, he was the recipient of those socks. And I'm going to, now the base from last year, at least, I don't know about this base. Jody wasn't sure if this was the same base. The base last year was super plump. And that was why I had made them too big, because I just used my regular cast-on for socks that I normally knit. So I normally do like a 60 stitch cast-on size US 0 for myself. I think I probably did I go up to a size US 1 on those? I'm not sure, but it was very plump yarn. So they ended up fitting my husband and not me, which is fine. He wears those socks all the time. He really does. In fact, I would show them to you, except that they are downstairs to be washed because he just wore them yesterday. But I'm casting these on before Advent. I just want to say I'm super excited about these. So I don't know how much I'm going to be showing these during the Vlogmas, because I'm probably going to be ahead of, and if I don't want to spoil any surprises for anyone. So I may not show this a lot, but I'm really, really just so excited about having this. So thank you, Jody, if you're watching this, thank you. So I feel I admittedly have to say I feel a bit spoiled this year because I have 2 Advent calendars and then this, and it feels superfluous to me, but at the same time, I'm very, very grateful for them, and I'm very excited to open those things. Well, that pretty much wraps up everything I wanted to talk about. I definitely was way more winded than I thought I was going to be. I thought that was going to be way shorter than it ended up being, but it's okay. I enjoy talking with you guys, and I am going to wrap this episode up now. Oh, before I do, I need to choose the winner of the Year of Shawls calendar. So let's do that. Okay, so here we go. I am using just a little website that randomly chooses comments off of YouTube videos. So we've got it going over here, and the winner is Elizabeth Earl, 2771. So Elizabeth, if you could please get in touch with me via my Gmail. I will also tag you down below in the video, like tag your YouTube name, and I will just need your like mailing address and those details so I can get you your calendar sent out to you. And yes, thank you guys all for commenting and for watching that episode. The Ariane's calendar is absolutely beautiful. It will be, listen, if you didn't win the copy, because only Elizabeth won it here, but please go, I'm so sorry, Tilly's moving around on my bed. Go check out her Etsy shop because she has them available. And again, you get a free Rowan lace wrap. That's a pattern by Fox and Folk. If you buy the calendar off of her Etsy shop, you will get a copy. I think she'll probably send you a code to get a copy of that beautiful wrap, which I personally have knitted, and it is actually really stunning. So, okay, let's wrap it up because my dog is getting restless and it is about time for me to start making dinner. Thank you guys so much for joining me again today. I so enjoy this time that I have to spend with you. And this is gonna be a busy, hopefully a fun week for our family, with my husband being off, and hopefully him and I will be able to do some fun things. So thank you guys so much for coming and spending time with me today. I appreciate you all so much. And until next time, enjoy your knitting, enjoy your creative time. For my fellow Americans, if this video goes up before Thanksgiving, I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving. If not, I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. And I will see you all very soon during Vlogmas. Goodbye.